So talk about the last fight, man. The last fight out, you took on a guy that a lot of people didn't want to take on. I'm just curious kind of what it was about that challenge that made you say, I'll do that.
Well, we're all men here, so I don't see anybody as special. He didn't do anything that was crazy different than anybody else would that from his background would do. I was definitely understanding of his dangers there, which is why we tried to avoid that, but just happened. I pushed a little bit too far in the jab, and he was able to grab me. And then, he was really good at what he does. There's no other way around it, actually. So, we practiced for those situations. I felt like I did the right things, but he was better at me in that realm. So that's where he had it. Looking back, if I could have hung back, maybe like work on more of the basics, just keep him at a distance and float a little bit more. We don't know how the fight could have gone a little bit differently, make him a little bit more desperate on those takedowns instead of giving him the opportunity by pressing forward so much. But it is what it is. You learn from those mistakes, but he is good at what he does, so there's no shame in that.
Yeah, no question about it. I don't think I realized at the time, but that was your 20th UFC fight, your 20th UFC appearance. Does that milestone mean anything to you? Not a lot of people reach that. Does that mean something to you? Because I didn't know if you'd ever be doing this for 20 times. I didn't know if you loved it enough and wanted to do it enough. So getting to 20 fights, what does that mean to you?
Oh, well, I didn't really think of it. I really didn't know it was my 20th fight, or it's always just getting ready for the next one at that present moment. Just focus on that one. It doesn't really feel any different. Feels like the first time, so actually that was the first time exactly how my fucking fight went.
Fair enough.
The first fight I had with Mac and Simmons here, I pressed too fast, after I hit him one time, and I pressed too fast and slipped up. He took my back and chucked me out in the first round. And so it was a not so good of an anniversary, but 20 fights, well, he's been there for a while.
That's pretty special. Where is your relationship with this sport, man? I always feel like, I don't say like a love-hate thing, but there's parts of it I think you like, and parts of it, the martial arts and the competition you've always liked, but the rest of it I'm not so sure. So where is your passion for the sport and the business and the game right now?
Well, not so much as a sport. I know there's a lot of people that consider that I like the competition, but I can't say I'm in love with competition or being competitive. I like the art of martial arts. I like practicing every day. I like to see myself. I like competing with myself. I like to try and be better than what I was yesterday. Try and do a little bit more the day that I'm awake. I guess you could say. I'm really not focusing on who am I fighting, but whether I can perform better, whether I can do better, and usually that leads me to more success when I can perform better than I did last time. Be a little bit more adaptable. Just be open-minded in that sense. My coach Crouch said it best when I was talking to him. The reason why I do this is to answer a question. It's not necessarily to, beat the next guy. It's to see what am I capable of and how far that I can go.
Yeah, that's a great point. Did he say that to you recently? Is that
yeah?
Did that strike you as wow, somebody gets who I am? And
well, we were talking. It's because we were talking to he's because some guy was I was saying that I'm a martial artist. I was talking with somebody about it. It's I'm a martial artist. I'm not a prize fighter. It's no, well, you fight for money. So some guy was mouthing and said, oh, you fight for money, so you're a prize fighter. I'm like, well, that's not what I started doing it for. When I started doing this, it was for the love of martial arts, to see something. And Crouch just says yeah, I get it. When I started doing it, they didn't have these type of sports available, and it was really just to answer a question, and I really identified with that answer.
No doubt about it.
It was yeah.
What's the focus been like since February, man? I know you like to do some gardening, you're reading some books. You've always got something going on, man, outside of the sport. So give me an idea what you as a man have been focusing on since then.
Well, I finally finished the Book of Dune, the first installment, which is 900 pages. So finally ripped through that one.
Impressive.
Oh, it took a while, but it's a great story. I did go back a whole bunch of chapters and read them back over again. I like doing that, it's kind of like playing back a episode of your favorite TV show. So I did that. I got my garden up and running, and it's been giving us a lot of food lately. We had tons of squash. I had so much I had to start giving them away. Tons of tomatoes, and eggplants, different herbs, leafy greens. So we've been primarily for like, I will say like the last month and a half to 2 months, our primary portions of the meals were from the garden. So that felt really good. So I've been working on that and focusing on the camp. And once I got the call, just training as much as I can and, getting ready.
No question. Well, you got the call, Steven Peterson. I know you don't watch the fights, man. So, did you know anything about the guy? Does somebody tell you who the guy is before you say yes? How does that process work?
No, I accepted the fight, and then I looked at some of his like latest fights, and then that's when I found out who he was and how he fights and whatnot. So that's how it works. They said, "Oh, you want to fight this guy?" I'm like, "Yeah, just sign me up." And it wasn't really like that. I just said, "Just get me a fight," whenever you can, as soon as possible. And then they got me a fight. It's going to be against this guy, so I go look him up, and that's pretty much it. My manager signs for me, so I don't have to deal with it. So.
You don't have to mess with that.
No.
Well, polar opposite of the guy you fought last time, right? I mean, this is a guy that's probably not going to want to grapple with you. He's probably going to want to move forward, trade, bang. He's very aggressive on the feet.
Well, I don't know. I mean, from the videos that I've seen, he moves forward. He does throw, but I feel like he throws just to get in close and push up against the fence and then look for a double leg takedown. I haven't seen it change in any of his fights that I've seen, even old fights and previous fights. The last fight with Luis Pena, that's what he did. He just, ducked his head, threw punches, not necessarily trying to land. If he landed, he landed, but he wasn't definitely looking at it and push him up against the fence and try to take him down. So I don't think it's going to be too much of a polar opposite. I mean, skill-wise, he's not going to be at Kron Gracie's level in jiu-jitsu at all. Not even close, not by a long shot. But he is going to pressure. He is going to walk forward with his head down and try and just press me up against the fence. That's from what I've seen. That's from what I already seen. He's going to eat a lot just to get in close and try and hold me there.
As a martial artist, I mean, do you enjoy like trying to figure out these riddles? Like when you're preparing for guys, are you trying to figure out what it takes to beat them, or is it more about just being the best you and thinking that can beat all styles?
Yeah, I guess being able to prepare for any adversity that comes my way. Trying when I stop thinking about it so much, and when I stop trying so hard, as I feel like that's when I get into my rhythm, and that's when I do the best. When I'm kind of free flowing and adapting. I have a very funky style, so it's just when I allow myself that freedom and not really focusing on a game plan, that's when I'm able to capitalize usually on situations. So the riddle is on the day of the fight, and that's usually what am I gonna do, or I try not to think about it too much. I just try to be there.
No question. Does this fight represent anything to you? I always think, your journey and I mean this moment in time. Does this fight mean anything special to you, or this time in your life, or your professional career, where you are in the journey? Does it mean anything, or is this just going out and punching the clock and doing what you got to do to pay the bills?
Well, definitely not. I just want to. It means getting back into the winning column. That's for sure, and being able to showcase my abilities. That I felt like the last fight, I didn't get the opportunity. It ended really short, so I felt really good about that. I had a great camp that fight as well, and I felt like I've been progressing in skill level and strength-wise and just my total overall athleticism. So I really wanted to get out there and see what I'm capable of. So I think this fight is another opportunity to be able to do that, because the last opportunity didn't work out so well. So definitely, I definitely have something. I have a question to answer, you would say, I guess, in this one.
No question. Well, when you play this thing out in your head, how do you see it going on Saturday? I imagine you could get your hand raised, but is this going to be a lengthy battle that you have to go through? Is it something you get done quick? What do you think?
Well, I always feel like I'm able to see so many different opportunities to win, whether it be lengthy, whether it be short. I've seen a lot of short victories. There's a lot of things that I'm capable of and he might be susceptible to. But I also see it going on, for the long haul. But even so, I don't see myself being worn down or anything. I feel like my cardio is great, and in a way, like I do want to get it done over with. That is always good to have a quick victory, but I guess the martial artist in me does like to have a fight sometimes. But that's not to say that I'm gonna hold back so that I can make it longer than it needs to be. If he's a tough guy, so he will eat a lot of shots. So it could go the distance, but I'm looking to finish him. I really, honestly, in my mind, I really want a submission victory. I've been working on my jiu-jitsu, especially after the last fight, and I've been really training that really hard, so I really want to see, that's one of the biggest questions I want to answer, where do I stand on the ground? That's kind of an oxymoron, where do I stand on the ground? But but I really want to see how far I came along. I know I've came very far, and my focus is there, so I would like to see what I'm capable of at that point.